Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I got the mic. Got the mic, I think. Mic check. All right, all right. We're cooking with grease. Okay, y'all done burn up 15 minutes. Y'all gotta bear with me. Still working out this whole live stream with my camera. All right. Trying to let a few people get in here because I don't have much time to get down. This might have to be done in different parts. We're gonna try to let a couple more people get in here before we get going. Candyman Codex. All right. We're cooking with grease. What's up, Worthy Maiden? Prince Nakeem. What's happening? Hope y'all enjoying your Saturday. This mini lecture is brought to you by Candyman. So much power, he needs 2 heads. All right. Let's try to let a couple more people get in because we're gonna have to get rolling. So I take it that y'all have seen the movie Candyman. I mean, it's not like it's a new movie. Candyman. All right. So this is we've been waiting on. All right. Okay. So the way I want to start this thing off is we're gonna roll with who we got right now. And like I said, I don't know how much I'll be able to get done. But we're gonna go as far as I can go until I gotta stop, and we'll come back and finish when I'm able. Okay, the movie Candyman came out in 1992. Okay, just to give you a historical backdrop, 1992 was 28 years ago. All right. The cycle of Capricorn or the cycle of Saturn is 28 years, give or take a few, 28 to 29 years. That's significant. So 28 years ago, and 28 is also the age of Osiris. Okay. 2 and 8 is also 10, which is 1. 28 years ago in 1992, this movie comes out. That same year, you have the LA riots. It's very interesting. So, Candyman. I want to start with this discussion by talking about some scenes in the movie, and I'm doing this in reverse of the way I actually wrote out these notes. And by the way, these notes will be available if you want the Candyman. Oh man, I got that autofocus off. Let me see. Let me adjust it myself. If you want the Candyman Codex, it's going to be available. I'll update you on that. But if you remember the movie, and some of y'all, it might have been a while since you watched the movie. Hopefully you can still hear me. If you can, somebody just give me a 1 before I get rolling. Just give me a 1. Let me know you can still hear me. If somebody is somewhere where you can type, just do me a. All right, I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Okay, the first scene in the movie that I want to talk about is it opens up with the main character Helen enters her husband Trevor's collegiate uh, classroom. Okay, okay, good. Watch it again recently. Good. So you up to date with what I'm talking about. She goes into his classroom, okay, and I stopped this movie and I watched it over and over again till I was able to catch these little things, okay. And on his chalkboard is written, quote, "Common among neighborhood legends," end quote. Okay, he's talking about you know myth and what he calls neighborhood legends. And this scene is very key because it frames the general Western idea of what mythology is, the ignorant arrogance of Western mythology towards of Western civilization towards mythology. Okay, just that by framing something as neighborhood legends, it's the same as calling people primitive or calling them savage. It is to belittle the significance of being primitive, which is prime, which is first, to belittle the connection with the dream time, the connection with the circular aspect of the mind. Okay, and he there's 5 bullets, and there's a reason that there's 5. Everything is symbolic. Okay, so 5 bullets. One, it says some, if not only a little, basis on truth. See, you're getting a window into this Western mind. 2, often a victim seeking revenge. 3, resides in a forbidden area, sometimes to keep children from the area. 4, deformities. 5, appliances, blades, hooks, etc. So what you're seeing now is they're describing the different attributes of Candace. This is called foreshadowing. It's actually showing you, giving you a glimpse down the road, the viewer of what you're going to see. Okay. You're going to see that they're going to try to present this legend, so to speak, as having little to no basis on truth. Okay. It's going to be Candyman, who was victimized in the 19th century. He's seeking revenge. He resides in a forbidden area where they try to keep children away. He's got a deformity. His right hand is missing, and the use of a hook. Okay, so you got these 5 bullets. But this scene sets the frame for the movie because it is setting the framework for the psychology. Okay, that is behind the Western world. All right. Now, towards the end of the class, Trevor tells the students, quote, "These stories are modern urban folklore. They are the unself-conscious reflection of the fears of an urban society," end quote. All right. So what I want to do right here, and this is why I know I'm going to have to do this in different parts. I want to give some framework here about mythology. Okay. And these are just some great books. This is Myth and Reality by Mircea Eliot. This is Parallel Myths by J.F. Berlin. And this is David Adam Lehman's The World of Myth. Now, I don't have time to read all these, but I do think they are worth having. And if nothing else, to read the different definitions of mythology in these books, because each one builds on the other. But I want to start with, I want to read from Mircea Eliot, because he comes before both of the other authors. And It's so much. I can't read all of this. I want to read a few things. Where do I want to start? Bear with me. Okay, one thing he says, to understand the structure and function of myths in these traditional societies not only serves to clarify a stage in the history of human thought, but also helps to understand a category of our contemporaries. Okay. Wait, I want to jump forward. Bear with me. Bear with me. Okay, here we go. Attempt at a definition of myth. I like the way he starts this definition, but just see, there's a degree of humility when you use the word attempt. He says, attempt at a definition of myth. Myth narrates a sacred history. It relates an event that took place in primordial time, the fabled time of the beginnings. In other words, myth tells how, through the deeds of supernatural beings, a reality came into existence, be it the whole of reality, the cosmos, or only a fragment of reality, an item, a species of plant, a particular kind of human behavior, an institution. Myth, then, is always an account of a creation. It relates how something was produced, began to be. Myth tells only of that which really happened, which manifested itself completely. Another section, he says, the myth is regarded as a sacred story and hence a true history. A true history, because it always deals with realities. And this is something I want to really hang my hat on. See, y'all, I'm always talking about language. This is an example of why it's good to understand language, because connotatively, myth is presented to us as a lie, a fictional story that is just a fantasy that's poppycock, and it's just something that's put together just to fulfill a savage need to overcome some fear. That's what they normally try to put it in that category. It was the ancients' way to try to overcome the fear. You know, they were fearful of this and fear. Myth here is treated in a more proper respect. Myth is regarded as a sacred story and hence a true history, because it always deals with realities. This cosmogonic myth is true because the existence of the world is there to prove it. The myth of the origin of death is equally true because man's mortality proves it, and so on. That's enough. That's enough to give us a foundation going forward, okay? This is why myth is important. And when you study myth, you don't treat it as just reading fairy tales. You know, you treat it is possibly the highest science, because mythology contains every other science in it. It will give you astrology. It will give you basic natural science. It will give you history. It will give you language. It will give you math. It will give you everything. Everything is found in myth. Okay? So next thing let's go to is Helen is in the library doing research on the first Candyman murder. All right. Now, in this scene, Helen is researching the death of Ruthie Jean. Ruthie Jean is the first noted murder of Candyman. All right. The camera frames a portion of the title of a newspaper article. Framing is what you see right now is framing. Okay. It's just like the frame of a picture. What the camera can see is what the audience will see. When a movie is produced, there is nothing in the frame that's by happenstance. It's a point of a director. If you watch a lot of those things, you see the director is sitting there looking in a monitor as the action's going. And part of what he's watching is to see what all is going to be in the frame, because that is the lens that will go out to the viewing audience. Why is that significant, Jamal? Because in this scene, we see how significant framing is. Okay, because what they show is a newspaper article, and there's a whole bunch of stuff in on this newspaper page, but they frame it to show you this: what killed Ruthie Jean? Okay, then the camera zooms over to on the right side of the paper. Okay, it says quotation, life in the projects, end quote. So this is just impromptu. I got to share something with you. This is some profound shit. Okay. It says, what killed Ruthie Jean? Okay. On the side, it says life in the projects. I always recommend this book, right? The Origins of English Words. Let me show you something. There's a root, an Indo-European root in here. Okay. And it is so glad I remember this. And I don't think I highlighted it. But I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to find this. Because this got to be, I know one word that ties to it is slum. There we go. L-E-B. L-E-B. Okay. There's a root. I'm sorry. It's not G-A-R. It is L-E-B. Leb. Okay. And this, one of the words that traces back to leb is slum. Okay. This book, the word slum traces back to this root. But what this guy says is that what is often misnomer is that ghetto and slum are the same thing, and they're not. Check this out. Because remember, what killed Ruthie Jean? Life in the projects. You're supposed to read that those things go together. Framing. What killed Ruthie Jean? Life in the projects. Because the projects, you all know this, the projects was a project. But check it out. Slum has recently been euphemized into ghetto by those interested in displacing blame. A slum is created by its inhabitants, okay? A ghetto is imposed by those outside. Let's just stop and just ponder on that for a second. A slum is created by its inhabitants. A ghetto is imposed by those outside. Okay? That's enough. That's enough. Now, so I want you to know this. The ghetto is not original to you. You are not the people who the term ghetto is now connotatively associated with are not actually in definition and in origin ghetto. The people who have a heavy hand in creating the ghetto are the original ghetto boys who have superimposed the idea of being ghetto on a people. And those people, in identifying with an idea that was created for them to be ghetto, then go on to create a slum by accepting a definition that is not theirs. What killed Ruthie Jean? Life in the projects. Now let me say this, because I know we're in an era where people's patience and listening capabilities don't be where they need to be. This is not to say or put down people living in the ghetto, because my family includes all living spaces. My grandmother lived in the projects. My aunt, cousins lived in the projects. I spent my weekends in the projects, wrestling on mattresses. People throw their mattress out, making wrestling belts out of cardboard belts and putting, out of cardboard and taking foil and cutting it out and making your USA Championship wrestling belt. So this is not of something you think. No, I'm telling you about something that's psychological. Taking on the moniker, oh, I'm ghetto. I'm ghetto. That's something that was created. What killed Ruthie Jean? Life in the projects. Okay. Sorry, I got to put a plug in here. When you get this book, I'm going to show you where the ghetto originated. That's all I'll say. Okay, next scene. Helen and Bernadette inside of Helen's condominium. Now, Helen explains to Bernadette. Bernadette is her best friend, all right? Helen lives in this expensive high-rise condominium, which was originally built to be the projects, Cabrini Green. But it was covered with modern amenities to become luxury living space. Now, in during this scene, she demonstrates to Bernadette, and we're going to come back and look at all these names. Bernadette, Bernadette. She's going to show Bernadette how the medicine chest opens to the adjacent space, in the bathroom. Now, she shows all these microfiche copies of, showing how Cabrini Green was, where she was at, was slated to be the projects, and they turned it into high rise. Now, that in itself, and the fact that she shows that the medicine cabinet in her bathroom, all she had to do was take the cabinet out, and she could push out the medicine cabinet in the adjacent apartment. What is she really showing? And this is very timely for right now. The entire scene demonstrates how thin the veil / wall is between the spiritual and physical worlds. It also shows that the physical world of illusions is, quote, built upon several primal worlds, end quote. And this comes from Bobby Hemming. The spiritual world is the world of illusion is built upon several primal worlds. They're showing that in this scene. This beautiful structure that she's living in is sitting on top of basically something decrepit, okay? Decrepit meaning something primal, something old. And then by showing how easily she can push out the cabinet and be in the other apartment, they're demonstrating how thin the veil is between these two worlds. Now, in multiple ways, you can see, especially in these times we're in now, how thin this thing really, this is not just to sound cliche. It's like, this is really thin. Look. I have a black book. Everybody needs to have a black book, okay? My black book, I talk about scribing, okay? Scribing means to write, but it literally means to scratch. Scratching, okay? When you write and write something repetitively, you are scratching something from next door that is an infinite plane of possibilities. You are taking those and scratching it into this world of form, this world of things. So when your thoughts then turn into a certain action, can be a way of bringing something out of a pool into a world of form, okay? The world of idea into the world of formation. I do these little rituals on the new moon, starting on the new moon, each new moon, which one comes up this evening. Okay, new moon in Cancer, sun in Cancer. Okay, how do you feel about the world you want that you are to create, the world to come? Write it down. The thing about it is to demonstrate the thinness of the veil. I'll share one of the words that I've written in the past few months: freedom. Now, this is how subtle things are, and you got to be paying attention. I'm writing this word freedom over and over and over and over. And when you get this on the website, describe it, say it, sex it, form, all this gonna be explained to you. But I'm writing this word, right? I go out one day, take my children out, to ride. We're gonna go and look at some houses, let them take a nap. I'm driving down the road and a van comes in the opposite direction. The van is black, red, and white, which are very important colors for me. Some of you all who know what those colors, red, white, black, some of y'all know what them colors represent. On the hood of the van is freedom. On the side of the van is freedom. I pass the van, look back in my rearview mirror. On the back, it says freedom. I get on 67, going through Oak Cliff, or bypassing Oak Cliff, and I look up and I see a sign, Freedom Chevrolet. Now, to certain people, that may seem like nothing, okay? But that's the way it's supposed to be, like nothing to those who it's not for. But if you know what time it is and you're paying attention, those are ways where what you went over there and cast your line, it is that way of that over there, hello, 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 hello. It's the echo coming back. And we could really say that this over here is really just the echo. The voice is over there. And we just see the echo. So I saw the echo of what was spoken over there, because my mind is able to go over there and create it where it's unseen. The scene in this movie is alluding to this. Thin. It's very thin. If it does it even exist? We got 3 major eclipses coming up. And after these eclipses, does the veil even exist? Does it exist now? Candyman is a very timely movie. All right, let's keep moving. When Helen and Bernadette meet Anne Marie is a mother of Anthony. Okay. When Helen and Bernadette go to investigate the crime scene, they meet Anne Marie. The crime scene is where was Ruthie Jean, the place where Ruthie Jean was killed. Okay. They meet Anne Marie. Now listen to this. In Anne Marie's apartment, near the front door on the wall, is a crescent moon and sun mirror. You got to go back and watch the movie. Framing. This was meant for those to see who could see. In 1992, I'm in high school. Of course, I ain't seeing none of this. But 28 years later, 43 years old, oh man, I'm like, look at this. Crescent moon and the sun mirror. Okay. Now, let's just pause. Most of y'all already know what this is. Okay. The crescent moon and star symbolize the Mason, the mother, and the son. C. Freeman L. Rest in power. For a more in-depth breakdown, okay, I'll got you a little note in here because I go into this deeper in another thing on Eve. Okay, now this is very significant. Another key thing you see is that above Anthony's playpen is a plaque that has a sun embossed on it. Above Anthony, I'm gonna give you a little clue here. Anthony is the Christ child. It's all about Anthony. Okay. Above, and they tell you because above Anthony's playpen is a sun. All right. So remember, they're telling you who Anne Marie is relative to Anthony. She's the great mother. He's the son. Together they're the mason. They show the sun again above his playpen. All right. So I want to read something, and this I have to give credit to Taj Tariq Bey because he brought this up on a broadcast I was watching, and he said, the book of Malachi, everybody needs to read it. He said, it's 2020, which is 4, and the book of Malachi has 4 chapters, and it's the last book of the Old Testament. All of y'all need to go and read the book of Malachi. All right. But I want to highlight chapter 4, verse 2. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son, and this is spelled S-U-N, not S-O-N, S-U-N. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings. Now that's my, okay? But if Horus has wings and this is mama, then this is the originator of those wings that he has. Now, this is another discussion. This is foreshadowing to another discussion we're going to have on Ma'at/Thanos. Okay, and I have to give credit to the collective, the brothers that I chat with in the collective where we kick around metaphysical and occult ideas and have discussions and so forth. But the healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall. Oh man. First of all, sun. Okay. Wings. The wings dealing with Ma'at. Ma'at is the vulture. It's going to be another discussion, another lecture. And grow up as calves. So you don't overlook anything. See, calves, a calf is a baby cow. A cow is bovine. Bovine comes from the same family as the bull and as the ox. Okay. This might end up having to be like three shit. I might have to do about 3 parts of this because I know I ain't gonna get through this. We're just gonna have to. We gotta go with. I tried to shoot this thing, just sitting here and shoot it, and it just wasn't right. I wanted to do this live. I want you to know I've spent a lot of money to be able to, or we've spent a lot of money to be able to just to present this little presentation. Whole lot of little stuff going to cam link and battery power, but either way, we're going this. It needed to be done in this fashion. Bovine, okay. When they mention the calves, okay, in this scripture. Okay. The reason that you got to know that it's a bovine, because then you could connect it back to an ox. Because the first Hebrew letter is this. That's an aleph. Okay. And each Hebrew letter has a meaning. The meaning of aleph is ox. And aleph is also the first ray of divine light. Okay. Okay. So that if the reason that we study language, then if you can even read that, it says ray of light. The reason we study language then is because it can give us connections. Okay. So that if I know that ox, and I'm just giving, this is just a Reader's Digest version of how deep this ox goes. If I know that aleph is ox and it's a ray of light, and I know that ox is a member of the bovine family, then I can now connect it with calves. So calves is talking about light, because the scripture just said, put unto you that fear my name, but unto you that fear my name shall the sun. So calves are rays that come from the sun. Corona, crown, Candyman. Oh, Candyman. Oh, everything is everything. Shit. Everything is everything. Let's keep rolling. Let's see. Okay, let's keep rolling. Okay. Anne Marie talks about the murder of Ruthie Jean. This is in the same scene. And this is some, I said it here, I said this is some key symbolism that shouldn't be overlooked. Ruthie Jean was killed on the 4th floor. What's this year? 2020, 2024. Malachi, 4 chapters. Okay. As they approach the apartment where she is murdered, there is graffiti on the wall that reads, "Sweets to the sweet." Oh boy. Sweets to the sweets. Okay. Now this, in all of the heinous intent that went into creating the so-called ghetto. Hope you can still hear me. And all the heinous intent that went into creating the ghetto. This is what I want you to know. Because what ghetto boys say, the world is a ghetto. Because the world is a ghetto. Okay, what sweets to the sweet? Now, they spell it like sweets, like I'm eating some sweets. But this is how I'm decoding this. Cabrini Green, which where they're filming, which is the setting, is this. It's the sweets to the sweet. S-U-I-T-E-S to the S-U-I-T-E. The sweets to the sweet. The divine place. The divine places along the way to the divine place. And it's not just talking about those who live in the ghetto. It speaks to those who have suffered. And it's not saying everybody in the world suffers. Let's just be clear. Everybody in the world suffers, but there's a collective suffering that has happened that is unlike other people's suffering. An ongoing suffering that goes on this landmass. Well, every time you see a movie, you have to be degraded. Okay. There's a suffering in that when you go amongst your own people, the level of ignorance that they express and that they demonstrate is a sign of their suffering. That means they have been denied a level of understanding. They've been denied the desire to know. And part of that is about people's individual paths. Some people in this lifetime is not their time to know. Okay. But there's also an element that has set things in place to hinder knowing. Okay. And that itself breeds, creates, encourages suffering. Okay. But so the sweets to the sweet is saying that these sweets are states. Okay. Now I'm going into Kabbalah. Each sephira is a state. Each sephira represents the traveling of the zero, nil, nothing into becoming. The first instance of becoming is one. One is Kether. And the one to continue to become has to suffer. It suffers by splitting itself. Okay. So each split is a state. Sweets to the sweet. Those sweets are states that are along the way of becoming. Yeah, them little old lowly people represent the divine path. That's what it's showing. You got to take your hat off to the writers. I mean, come on. I mean, it's unbelievable. The story goes that Ruthie Jean told 911 that her attacker, which is Candyman, was coming through the walls. There is an attacker coming through the walls right now, and it is Candyman. Now, this is what's going to determine how each person individually moves forward. These eclipses, this Pluto sitting on top of Jupiter, and I mean, that's a whole nother discussion itself. It's right now, everybody's being presented with a fake collectivism. Usness, weism can be very crippling, because ultimately what matters is this thing is coming through the wall. When we say the veil is thin or it's gone, how have you prepared? How are you preparing to utilize the energy? Are you prepared to nurture the Christ child? Or will you be a poor steward? Will you be an absentee parent who lets this child suffer and die or perish or not reach his full potential? The baby is being born. Candyman is coming through the walls. He's coming. Are you prepared for the birth? The movie is timely for a time such as this. It's a right now story. Okay. Next scene. Helen first meets Candyman for the first time. What time? It's 3 o'clock. Okay. I'm going to try to get through the scenes, and then it's going to be tough. Helen first meets Candyman for the first time. When Helen first encounters Candyman, it's in a parking deck on level A7. Okay. Now, I took scholastic liberty. and I'm gonna say that A7 is Aleph 7. Okay, I'm taking my own scholastic or being liberal, in my interpretation. Aleph is the first letter in the Hebrew alphabet. We just talked about, Aleph is the ox alphabet or the alphabet. Thus, it would represent the number 1. So based on that, I'm going to remember I talked about framing. They got a endless numbers they could have chosen. Why put where she meets Candyman at A7? They just sit down and take shots of Patron and say, okay, well, what should we call the parking deck where he meets her? Oh, B3, G9, A7, no. So I'm assuming this was intentional. Okay, so in Kabbalah, 1 and 7, 17 represents the path of Zion. Zion, okay? Now, Zion basically means beautiful. Okay. And it's I explain it here how it's written, and you just when you get the document, you can see for yourself. On the tree of life, it connects Bina, which is severity, restriction, and Bina is that severity and that restriction also ties into birth. Okay, because Bana leads to Gavora, but that's another. Okay, but either way, Bana, severity, restriction, it connects it with Tifereth, manifestation, beauty. Okay, in many ways, the movie shows this path being represented in Helen's life. Okay, she's having to cut away things. Okay, so that she can get to the actual beauty, which is Tifereth. So she's going through hell. She's catching hell in this movie. And it is part of a beautiful path and the path is called beauty. And it's taking her to beauty. Listen. So I want to highlight this exchange between Helen and Candyman in the parking deck. Candyman, Helen, Helen. Oh man, he acted his ass off in this. Helen says, "Do I know you? Do I know you?" Candyman, no, but you doubted me. Helen, I'm sorry, I have to go. That right there. While he says 7th letter, it means sword, exactly. And that's how it's in the notes here. I got the glyph of Zion is written as a yod with a sword-like extension that points down. Every Hebrew, first of all, is not a self-contained language as so-called Hebrew scholars would like to present itself to be. It is an ancient language that ties back to Kemet, but it is a storehouse of symbolism. Every letter is a storehouse of symbolism, and it says here, she says, I'm sorry, I have to go. This reflects what happens when a so-called awakening comes. Awakenings are always presented as butterflies and gumdrops, but in reality, it's not really how a real awakening is not something you sit and say, I want to wake up now. It's not how it happens. Awakenings many times are tumultuous, and it leaves one feeling like, I gotta go. No, wait a minute. I thought I wanted this, but whoa, this is a little too much. I gotta go. That's what she says. I'm sorry. I have to go. No, Helen. You wanted to know Candyman. You've been chasing him. You've been researching. Ain't that how a lot of this stuff goes? You know, we watch the YouTube videos. Those of us who read, we study. But what about when you really find that you're in the shit pile? Oh, buddy. And you can't just, but no, I have to go. Helen. It's too late. You're in it now. So now you got to, what Brother Bobby say, separate the monks from the chumps. You in it now. So he says, no need to leave. Helen says, but I'm late. See, that's you're seeing a battle between two sides of that mind. One side, time don't exist. But then there's that rational side that wants to, is still tied down, but I'm late. I've got somewhere to be. Candyman has this, you see over and over in the movie, he dissolves time. He's not trapped. He's not bound by time. He's timeless. He shows up, he disappears. And she's left there. I'm taking this, why I can't get through this shit. Okay. Candyman, you are not content with the stories, so I was obliged to come. Be my victim. Be my victim. Don't overlook, he says, be. Dissecting the lines in this movie is like reading scripture. You can't leave out any little part. These people wrote the fuck out of this movie. Be my victim. Candyman. What is Candyman about? Bees. Be my victim. He says it again. So somebody might have another chance to catch it. Be my victim. Okay. I am the, oh man, this is one of the greatest, this got to be one of the greatest dialogues ever. And I'm gonna have to wrap this up. And it's probably gonna be 3 parts. Okay. He says, I am the writing on the wall, the whisper in the classroom. Without them, I am nothing. So I was obliged to come. Oh man. He says, I am the, first of all, he says, I am. Okay. Okay, I gotta try to remember what this is. Leviticus. Shit. I don't know if I can remember this. I want to say 10. I want to say 10 and 25. Let me see. Bear with me. Nope, it ain't that. But I know I'm in the play. I'm close. I'm close. Same. Hold on. Let me cheat. Hold on. Let me Google this real quick. Hey, Milton Walden, thank you. Thank you for your support. Just got him describe it, say it, sex it, document. Hold on, let me look this up. Hold on 1 second. It's in Leviticus. Hold on, it's in Exodus 3:11, I think. Bear with me. And we're gonna close on this, and we'll come back and we'll do a second one where we'll discuss the rest of the scenes. Okay. Exodus chapter 3, 11th verse. And Moses said unto God, who am I that I should go unto Pharaoh, and that I should bring forth the children of Israel out of Egypt? And he said, certainly I will be with thee, and this shall be a token unto thee that have sent thee. Okay, fucker. Let's skip down. Verse 14. And God said unto Moses, no. Let me say 13. And Moses said unto God, behold, when I come unto the children of Israel and shall say unto them, the God of your fathers have sent me with you, and they shall say to me, what is his name? What shall I say unto them? 14. And God said unto Moses, I am that I am. Candyman. I am the writing on the wall. Okay, I am. Now we're gonna go to very familiar scripture. All of y'all know, but I'm just gonna read it straight from the John. The first. How does the book of John open up? How does the book of John? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Who the fuck is Candyman? I am the writing on the wall, which is the Word, and the wall is the veil. I am the Word. I am the writing, this horrible, horrific, monstrous creature. I am the writing on the wall. Scribe it, say it, sex it. I am the writing. I'm the scribe. I'm not only the scribe, I'm what the scriber scribes. I'm the Word. I'm the Word. Be my victim. Just wait till we come back and we do the etymology on all this shit. Be my victim. All right. I got to stop it with that scene right there. All right. When we come back, next time I'm able to, it'll be soon. I'm going to come back and we're going to go into Candyman and Helen's condominium. Helen being committed to the psych hospital. So this is what, if you got time, you can review what I've done here and go back. And if you got time, go watch Candyman again, and see these things. Go back and listen to this video again. Watch that and see them. It's just amazing. And it is a now time story. It is now. It is now. Do you know the importance of you being confident? Let me just conclude on this. Do you know the importance of you being confident? Do you know the importance of, even if you can't see what you're creating, to know and trust in your creation? Do you know the importance of that? Do you know the importance of your word? Do you know the importance of you taking the time, the effort to scratch your reality or your idea, your imagination into reality? Right now, certain entities are telling you what your response is to certain things. Okay? There are certain things that I never mention that are a part of your everyday existence. Life is so complex, but it's so simple. What can you do with your hands? Why do you think the character in the Bible that is supposed to be, even if it's his stepdad or whatever, why do you think the name Joseph is given to the earthly father of the Christ figure? Because Seth means hands. Seth means head, but it also means hands. Are you taking your reality into your hands? When you write, you are marrying the two selves. That's why it's Yosef. Yod. Yod is 10, so it's talking about two sets. So in this case, this is a hand, and these two hands represent a single hand. This hand to this hand. And then when you get down to these hands, you break them up into separate entities. But do you understand how the symbolism goes? Yosef, Yusuf. Yusuf creates, and Yusuf means to add to. Using the power of your mind to add to your earthly, mundane functions to create the reality which is yours. Not what somebody gives you as a remedy, not what somebody gives you as the response or as to the way you're supposed to exist, but how you fashion it with your mind. And we'll close on that. And we'll come back and reconvene and we'll finish this Candyman, and we'll do this in as many parts as necessary to complete this. Hey, mastersofthecosmos.com. You know, if you appreciate this work and you want to be able to do some more studying on your own, this is a great piece of literature here to have. Lies, Mind, and Ties, it all ties in, because the ties is again talking about the hands. It's all about the hands. You also can go over there and you can get you a copy of the Scribe It, Say It, Sex It. If you buy the book and you buy the document, we'll get you this is how you're gonna get your package in the mail. You're gonna get your package in the mail. So we do things with class. You're gonna get your package in the mail like this. You know, I'm not too good to say thank you. You know, too much we beat down people. Gonna get you a nicely folded shirt delivered to you. Thank you note along with your book. And when you purchase the PDF, you're gonna be able to download it immediately. This is a shirt that's gonna be sent to you. You buy the book, you buy the PDF, you get the shirt for free. All right. So I'm on my purpose. I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and I gotta make it happen. I'm learning to play the fool in the tarot deck. You know, fool got to get to the edge of the cliff and jump. You know, so it's Jamal Robinson, mastersofthecosmos.com. As always, stay down till you get up, and when you get up, stay down. Peace.